Hi, welcome to our second podcast session. I'm Veronica, the host of this program, in which we are going to talk about 3D printing at the point of care industry with our guests who are the experts in the branch. We would like to also invite you to check our website, 3dpointofcare.com, where we post the latest news and advancements in the industry. Now, let's move to our episode. Today, our guest is Arpan Saluya, a vice president and a business developer at Anatomies 3D. Hi, Arpan. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. Once again, thank you for participating in our podcast show. We know that before you have been also working as a medical 3D printing application engineer at Materialize in India and Southeast Asia. Can you also tell us more about yourself and your past work experiences in your industry?
Sure. Hi, Veronica. I'm happy to be here, happy to be a part of this and share my experience. Just to give you a brief background, I actually was introduced to 3D printing during my master's. That's where I learned about 3D printing first, but it was very generic. It was just a simple FDM machine. After I completed my master's, I was fortunate to join Materialize, which is one of the pioneers in this field. They're one of the largest companies worldwide, one of the most innovative companies. So I was very happy to be a part of the team there. And I was even more fortunate to join the medical team, which produces advanced medical 3D modeling and 3D printing solutions. So as the application engineer there, I drove the adoption of these solutions in India and Southeast Asia. And after working there for more than 4 years, I joined a startup in India called Anatomize 3D, which is one of the leaders of medical 3D printing solutions in India. So that's how my journey into medical 3D printing continued, whereby while at Materialize, it was more focused on, say, the software component of how to enable people with the software for medical 3D printing. While at Anatomize, it was more on the ground level, how to use the software to create actual components and provide them to the surgeons and the clinical setting. So that's how I went along my journey into medical 3D printing.
Yes, I see. Great, thank you for such a broad introduction. And we can now move on to our next questions, I would say. So what does Anatomies 3D company provide? Can you tell us more about its activities?
Right. So Anatomize 3D is a provider of all kinds of personalized healthcare solutions. This ranges from basic customized medical devices, whereby we convert patient's CT or an MRI scan into a 3D model, as well as then further design or engineer upon that 3D model to create surgical guides, customized implants, and other patient-specific devices. So this is more on the medical devices component where we create customized devices. We also do provide design and consultancy services for medical 3D printing. Anatomize 3D has been one of the leading companies in India for medical 3D modeling services. And over the years, they started back in 2015. So over the years, they've gathered a lot of expertise, especially in some core areas such as soft tissue modeling, which is a little more difficult than hard tissue modeling. So you have heart structures, liver structures, all those soft tissues. So since we have gathered that expertise, we are also able to train, consult, and provide design services to companies which are, not so familiar with the medical 3D modeling or 3D printing side of things. And lastly, we also help hospitals. Now that we have gathered all this end-to-end expertise, we are now helping hospitals also. Technology can be provided at the point of care. So that's how we provide all end-to-end services, from design service to a complete enterprise level 3D printing setup.
I understand. So can you also provide us some examples of your work until now? How are the hospitals using the service? Is it possible to provide some statistic for us?
Oh, yeah.
If you can.
Yeah, sure. We've actually, so I think at Anatomize, the core focus, which it began with, was cardiology, especially pediatric cardiology was one of the key sectors whereby a need for 3D modeling was very significant, since the heart structures are very intricate and very complex. So that's what Anatomize started with. But as the years went by, a lot of need came from plastic surgery, craniomaxillofacial, and neurosurgery. So we've worked with all the leading hospitals in India, all the leading hospital chains. If you might have heard of Apollo hospitals, Fortis hospitals, Manipal hospitals, both private and public hospitals, to provide them with these kinds of 3D models and customized devices. So I think gradually, where initially it used to be only about, say, 2 to 3 cases a month, in the last 1 year, on average, we have done about 20 to 25 cases a month. So the volume has steadily increased as more people, more surgeons are adopting this technology. And the key sectors seem to be neurosurgery, plastic surgery, and oncology, because that's also where the most complexity occurs. Over the last 1 year, though, we've had two major breakthroughs whereby we have signed contracts with two of the biggest hospital chains in India to set up in-house point-of-care 3D printing labs. This is the Max Hospital Group as well as the Apollo Hospitals Group. So in Max, the lab has already been set up, and in Apollo, it will also be set up very soon. It's just got delayed due to the COVID situation. But that's two major breakthroughs, that two such big hospital chains are taking this technology on board in such a big way.
Great, thank you. So we also know that regulations can vary from one country to another, and we are really interested in how different are the regulations in India. And do you officially recognize 3D printing as a method of manufacturing of medical devices there?
Okay, so the regulations in India for medical devices generally are not very well defined. India does rely to a large extent on certain FDA clearances, but apart from that, not all devices are very well regulated. And 3D printing is also in that bracket, whereby it is not yet recognized as a manufacturing method for medical devices. This does bring some advantages, but also poses some challenges. The advantages are that because it is not recognized, it is very easy to provide these services without any specific regulation or any authorization. So as long as the doctor is convinced, the patient is convinced, they're ready to go and use this technology, be it invasively or non-invasively. However, the other side of the argument with this is that because there is no checks in place, the quality is not always well regulated. So because of that, you have a lot of people right now in India providing medical 3D printing services. However, not all of them are either well qualified or well experienced to provide the high quality of services, or, and since it's medical, it becomes a very sensitive area. So that's where I think the lack of regulation is both a blessing and a curse.
I see. Okay. So speaking about that, can you also provide us more about the landscape of 3D printing medical devices in Asia? Because you work at Materialize in Malaysia, how would you define the industry there? Is it growing?
Yeah, so I think when I was in Malaysia, I was responsible for the whole of Southeast Asia, which is Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, all of that. I was responsible for all of that market. And what happens there is Singapore is a clear leader in leading the front on 3D printing technology. But in terms of medical specifically, their local regulatory body is quite strict. So which is why what Singapore has done, though, is they're focused heavily on their R&D. They have a number of high-class research institutions, such as the National University of Singapore, the Nanyang Technological University, a lot of major research institutions. So they've invested heavily in terms of the research to build it up from the ground up, so that all the processes are well documented, the use cases are well seen, and enough evidence is gathered together to be presented to the regulatory body to make it a standard of care. So Singapore has, and in fact, Singapore even has a government body in place which is responsible for encouraging 3D printing in the community. It's called NAMIC. So that's responsible for promoting additive manufacturing and innovation in the community. A similar initiative is in Korea as well. So Korea is also one of the leaders, I should say, worldwide in 3D printing, because there also the government has focused on it in a heavy way. Again, through the establishment of a dedicated body called the KAMUG. It's the Korea Additive Manufacturing User Group, which is again responsible to gather funds, allocate funds, and encourage research into 3D printing.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly in Asia, Singapore and Korea are huge hubs for 3D printing, and they adopt the route of going through their research institutions, whereby their engineering schools collaborate with their medical schools to perform research and come up with innovations using 3D printing. Whereas in the other countries such as Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, though, again, it's a bit of a gray area. There's no clear definition in terms of the regulatory structure. Is still an evolving process. So, which is why also there some innovations are easy to progress into, but some parts there are roadblocks. There is a lot of red tape. So that's why there the progress also is slow at more at the research level and not yet at the clinical adoption as much.
Great, I understand. And what's your personal outlook on that? What exactly do you think about 3D printing medical devices at the point of care?
I think that's definitely the next step to go, because the fact is that, like with the most other, 3D printing is sort of a natural progression to imaging technologies. The entire purpose of 3D printing in medical, where it came about first, was to visualize what's inside the human body without cutting it open, which is similar to imaging. First, you had X-rays, then you had CT scans, then you had MRI scans, and now 3D printing is a natural progression of that technology, whereby the doctor can know what to expect before going into surgery. Just like all the other technologies that have been adopted in-house, because it makes the process a lot faster, it makes it easily accessible for the doctor. Same way 3D printing needs to also be adopted in-house to make it very easily accessible and part of the standard of care. I think where else it can advance into then is the creation of devices such as surgical guides, customized implants, and more. I think the focus needs to be on material innovation to create more bioresorbable and biocompatible materials that can be manufactured at the point of care. And hopefully with the progress of even bioprinting, I do see that someday you'll have a scenario whereby if someone needs a liver to be donated, if someone needs a liver, they don't need it to be donated. They can simply print it in the hospital and implant it straight away. So I see that as the end goal or the best case scenario.
I see. Thank you. And now comes the kind of other question, different type of question. And how about COVID-19? I know your company is doing a lot to fight the pandemic situation.
Yeah.
And I also read that you have been producing 3D printed parts of medical devices such as ventilators, waves, and face shields, masks. And I wanted to ask, how challenging was that for you?
Okay, it has been very challenging, because the fact is that as a company where our entire business model depends on surgeons performing complex surgeries and us providing them with these patient-specific devices, with COVID, what's happened is all the surgeries in hospitals have been put on hold. So what that causes is our entire business is shut in that sense, because since no one's doing surgeries, we cannot provide any sorts of patient-specific devices. So which is exactly where then Anatomize had to diversify or look into another direction to be sustainable. And that's exactly where protective equipment came in. The first thing that we saw, the first request that we got actually was of ventilator parts to create certain ventilator splitters, because the estimation was that as the COVID-19 cases would rise, there would not be enough ventilators. So if a ventilator could be shared between two people. So that's where the first request came about. And that's when it got Anatomize 3D thinking on what else it can do to help with this current situation. And through some brainstorming, that's where we came across the idea of face shields. So we developed face shields, which were quite successful. And now it's become like a norm. And then we kept innovating on the ventilator parts to produce certain spare parts, certain converters to convert them into BiPAPs and all of that. And that has been definitely a success. Apart from that, then the focus has still been more on the protective equipment, because that seems to be you can say the largest source of revenue, or the largest requirement from the market. So the fact is that Anatomize has had to diversify into that. because of the COVID situation. However, now that things are slowly getting back to somewhat of a normal, the normal surgical cases have also started. So it's good to see that at least normal business is also resuming now to a certain extent.
Okay,
but
great.
the focus
Thank
is
you.
still on this protective equipment.
Okay, I see. Like, it was very interesting to know, actually. And Arpan, thanks a lot. That was my last question. Maybe is there anything more that you would like to add or mention before we finish our session?
No, I don't think so. I think that's it. It's been a great session, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thanks a lot, Arpan. I think it would be the end. It was a great conversation. Once again, thank you for being with us today. We hope that we can have you once again in our program soon. And we wish you all the best with your next career plans. And
Thank you. Thank
to
you so
our
much.
listeners now, thank you for listening to our podcast show. If you like it, visit our website 3dpointofcare.com and stay tuned for the next sessions. Have a great day and bye.